Hi everyone, I'm Diane and you're watching Standing by the Cross. So I have a very special guest today. It's Athena from Catholic Seasons. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. So thank you for joining me today. Um okay, we'll just start off the conversation with are you a are you a created Catholic or are you a convert?
Um, I'm more cradle Catholic. My parents converted and came back to the church when I was about 5, 6 years old. So, but um, so I have vague memories of their time before that, and I remember my baptism. But then from there was raised Catholic. So definitely immersed in the faith for more than I wasn't.
Yeah, so the reason I ask this question is it's always amazing how, the variety of backgrounds and influences. Like when you start something, there's always the backstory to it, isn't it? So, okay, so you're a creator Catholic. That's amazing. Now, um, what inspired you to start Catholic Seasons?
Yeah, so being raised Catholic, my parents, I appreciate it so much more now as I'm raising my own family or have been raising my own family. My parents are really good about we always had Catholic art, statues, things in the home, different traditions that we would do. And growing up, you just think that's normal. Whatever you're raised with, you think is normal. And my mom was really good about getting us, to confession regularly. We would all go to mass on Sundays as a family, and that's just how it was. And then as I started raising the kids, trying to find resources for in the home, and came over from the States. So I've been living in England for about 4 years now. Um, and when I came over, I realized some of the stuff that I like shops or things that I would use or want to find weren't as easily as accessible here. In addition to that, we go to our parish is in St. Mary's, Glastonbury, which is known for being very new age.
Oh.
And I think we have like an infiltration in the culture of the new age anyway. So things like beeswax candles or um, just things that, are very traditionally Catholic. If you try buying it on Etsy or from different places, there's kind of things like use it for your spells or, it's meditations and stuff. And so I'm kind of like, but wait, like, this is Catholic, we should like, we need to get this back. So I think it was a combination of like wanting to bring back things that are traditionally Catholic, make them more, bring it back to the Catholic faith and available for people from a reliable source, and
Mm,
also making things more easily accessible that are different than what you see maybe in a church piety stall, just a little bit more variety, things that fit in more with modern tastes and home decor, and things that are just like um, engage kids or families in a kind of more relatable or interesting way or gentler way. If you have children that are various levels of interest in their faith. Um, we just kind of were thinking like, well, if we're struggling to find this stuff, other families might be too. So it's just a process of like one day we're just kind of like, you know what, we'll start it, we'll see what happens, and praise God, it's been very successful. We've got a lot of interest, and it's been really fun, and it's definitely a labor of love, but it's all worth it because we see it as a mission as much as a business to get more Catholic things in people's homes. Yeah.
mm. Oh, that's that's a very in-depth answer. Actually, you jumped into some of my questions, but it's okay. No,
Oh, yeah.
but you know
Yeah.
what? You're absolutely right about the piety stalls because my husband and I we tend to our small little family tend to hop around a lot of Catholic church and the piety stalls they have the same things. Every piety stall it
Yeah.
feels like they've replicated themselves in each church and they have the same items. But
Uh,
also regarding the candles, you're absolutely right. Myself having a long background in a new age, I sometimes see some things like, I'm not sure that should be here, because I know that this has more New Age influence than actually coming from
Yeah.
a true Catholic source. So you're right. Yeah, we if we want to
Um,
practice our traditional faith, we don't want anything that's from a dodgy source. You would say, especially anything that's used for occult or witchcraft practices. That's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
uh,
Exactly.
and also, because, like as I've said, because everything looks so similar, there's no uniqueness. There's no
Hmm.
like, I envy especially on Etsy. I just envy the Catholics in the USA. They have so much
I
variety,
know.
and everything is new and interesting and in trend,
Yeah.
and we're just stuck with the same old stuff. So it's really interesting that you're like, you know what, as an American, let me bring the American
Yeah.
Catholicism vibes into the UK. so
Exactly.
so so between Peter is your spouse. I mean, this is for the listeners. Peter
Yes.
is Athena's spouse. So between
Yeah.
Peter and yourself, I'm guessing the first one to start this conversation of starting this business is you. Am I right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely. We're very good balance for each other because I can definitely be more of the I have an idea, it sounds fun, I'm gonna do it. And then when it stops feeling fun, kind of burn out, or if I get an obstacle, it's a little like, okay, maybe I need to change course. And Peter's a lot more, it takes him a bit longer to warm up to an idea because he sees all kind of like, well, the practical stuff and how are we going to do this? How is it going to like look? And um, so I think we had talked about it for a good year. It was just kind of me like going around to because I love going to piety stalls. Like even though I know that it's usually ends up being the same, if I see anything Catholic, I'm like, I have to go and look. So,
That's how we
um,
all,
and I
burn a
think it
burn a
was
hole in our
like
pocket. Yeah.
I kind of keep bringing up like, oh, it'd be really fun if we could do our own, or yeah, exactly. But kind of telling him like, oh, it'd be really fun if we could do our own. Do you think we can do our own? Or hey, look at this. Maybe we can like look find ways to import stuff. And then especially like with the candles, it was just like, I wanted to find some really good beeswax candles for at home to be blessed. Wanted to find some, and it's just also health too, to not have like the toxins and everything in the home. So then I think we were one of the other things too is we're the only Catholic shop in the southwest of England because the tipping point I think for Peter was Buckfast Abbey closed their shop, and I think they have something now, but it's not as comprehensive as it used to be. So when that closed and we wasn't really anything in our area, he's like, maybe we should actually do this. I was like, what, really? But the great thing about Peter is like once he's on board, he's like fully on board, fully committed, and just so he's like, we're going to come up with a name. We need to buy a domain, and then we need this and that. I'm like, wow, like so it was really great. So he does a lot of kind of the behind the scenes, like he gets the packages out, he does the finances, and I mean, that's the stuff that really keeps the business going because I do like the, researching stuff, finding products, talking to our customers, doing like kind of more the front part of it. But it's really the behind the scenes stuff that keeps us going.
God bless him for doing the boring stuff. Yeah. Um. So, why Catholic
Yeah,
seasons?
definitely.
Why the name Catholic seasons?
Yeah, so all the good ones that we wanted were taken. But then so that kind of helped us like think a lot more of like what are we doing, And so there's we definitely wanted it to be known like we're a Catholic shop, so that anyone looking, for Catholic anything, would pop up. And then seasons like really could because at first we started at names, throwing names around, but then we were like, we need to think about like why are we doing this? And so a lot of it's liturgical living, like just making liturgical living easier in your home. So it's like we different seasons, you're going to like change out, like, for Christmas, you decorate for Christmas, for Easter, for different spring, summer. We tend to reflect that in our homes. So we thought, like, well, liturgical years, seasons, Catholic seasons. So kind of Catholic all year in your home and the different seasons. But then also, um, kind of more subtle meaning to that was seasons of life. As a family, you go through different seasons. We also don't want it to just be for families, because that's the other thing we found, that a lot of stuff is either geared towards really young children and married couples and families. But we're thinking too of like single people, single moms or dads, because we'd both been previously single parents, elderly couples. So it's kind of like having something for whatever season of life you're in and the different seasons of the Catholic calendar.
Oh no, that's proper deep. I read it in your about section as well, and I was like, oh okay. So you've really put a lot of thought into this. Now, so other than your online presence, like your website and also your Instagram, are you out there? Are you going out doing events or things like that?
Yeah, we've been very fortunate that people have been very welcoming. So we've gone the Catholic Mothers Apostolate. We've done the Catholic Mothers Conference. We were at a Catholic Christmas marketplace last Christmas, or it was 2 Christmases ago now, where I met you.
Oh yeah.
Um, and then we do churches, schools, just yeah. So and then this year we have like quite a few coming up. We've been doing to the Clifton Diocese events. That's our diocese. We've been going to some of their events. But this year we'll be doing Catholic Mothers again. There's the Catholic Festival in Oscott that we'll be going to. And then also the Glastonbury Pilgrimage in the fall. We'll be there, and that's with our parish. So it's so great because it's, even though you're online, and there's social media, which is another topic. I have like a love hate with social media and running a business, but it's so different interacting with people in person, because that's where we hear a lot of stories and we see the impact that our shop has. So we just love going to the events.
So no,
Yeah.
as I was saying, no, it's really important to actually meet your customers in person, because then you get immediate feedback about your products, and and also you get to see some of your regular customers who know that you're coming out doing an event. They would like to, I would like to meet you in person and have a
Yeah.
chit chat. Is always nice, isn't it? And it doesn't feel so lonely when you go out there and do
Yeah.
this event. Sometimes it gets lonely, doesn't it? Just doing an
Right.
online shop.
Yeah. Yeah, because you just don't know, like, is this what people want? Is this making a difference? And also just the Catholic communities, there's pockets of really strong communities, but they're hard to find sometimes. And so these events, I think they're just so good for meeting other Catholics. But um, and it's really interesting because we have some things that do really, really well in person, but no one will buy online. And then, or things that, we can't keep in stock online, but we don't sell in person. So I don't know why that is, but that's kind of interesting to see too.
What do you most enjoy about running Catholic seasons?
Oh, well, I really enjoy it. Like, I've actually learned a lot, so I've learned a lot more about different, like, why we do certain things. So it's kind of led me in a journey unexpectedly into like learning more about my faith. I thought I had a pretty solid understanding, but I mean, there's always learn more, but I've learned a lot. Um, so I've really enjoyed that. And again, the people, like meeting the people and just seeing like how it's really inspiring. Like, I do think we're going through a culture shift and change because I see people so hungry, so um, really wanting substance, wanting truth, um, wanting answer, just wanting purpose or something in life. And I think that's what I've really enjoyed with Catholic seasons is that I think people are reached through, you know, the truth, through goodness, through beauty.
Mm.
And so I've just really enjoyed that, seeing that when someone's like really searching for something and they connect with something we have, or like the candles are really popular. Like we have these amber glass candles with quotes, and people will buy that. They'll say, I'm buying this for, we've had several people say, I'm buying this for a friend or family member. They're not Christian. I don't know if they believe in God, but they're going through a tough time, and I think they'll appreciate this. So hearing things like that, where I'm like, that might be a little opening to a further journey for them. So I think it's what started out as just kind of selfishly, admittedly, just saying like I really want to have the Catholic products, and if I'll buy them wholesale and then share. It's taken a different direction of just like, wow, people actually really want this, and they want it because they're searching for something deeper in their life or in their spirituality. So that's been great.
Oh yes, no, when where you mentioned about the beauty, I truly agree with that because starting out, I didn't feel the need to decorate my house with too much of, I just have my altar and that's it.
Yeah.
But as I grow deeper in the faith, I start to realize it's important for my children to be constantly surrounded by Catholicism in its art, in its truth, and in its beauty. Especially, I
Mhm.
think children respond to beauty much more than we do
Yeah.
for some reason, because I think they're not much about words, they're more about the visual
Mm.
stuff, isn't it? So it just having Our Lady's icon, or which some of the stuff I bought, most of my beautiful stuff I bought from your shop, yeah. So and so I have this particular icon that I keep, and we pray every morning. And because it's light, I kiss it, and then my son kiss it, and so my husband, and then my
Oh,
daughter start
wow.
kissing the icon in the morning and even at night. So it's become such a that's where I realized, oh, you know what, having beautiful things around your house, especially pertaining to your religion, is very, very important for the
Yeah.
kids. Yeah. Okay, so that's what you enjoy about the business. Now, how about some of the challenges that you face running this business?
Well, challenges, I think, having a family and doing a business. I mean, it's because like we really, for Peter and I, it's just our family's priority. So, and that, he still has his full-time job. So this isn't our, you know, income, our family income by any means. So he's working full-time. We have the kids, and so sometimes we can't put as much time into it. And then obviously, money, you have to kind of, it is an investment, and you're not selling as fast as you are stocking things. So I'd say like the time, the money, classics. And I think too, just kind of finding out. I feel like the first year we're very fortunate, very blessed the first year because Christmas, our first year was just great, and we met a lot of people. And then this last year it's kind of slowed down, but again, because that's family needs take priority. So if we were to, kind of make the business the priority, I'm sure we could do a lot more and, you know, make make more or whatever, but we don't want it to come at the cost of that. So I think that's the biggest challenge. Also, social media, it's so great, and it's also really hard because I don't like spending a lot of time on social media, but if you aren't regularly posting or interacting, like, the algorithms, you
Oh well.
know, so I would say, I mean, I really love it for how much I've connected with other people through that, but it's really challenging to keep up with it. And I'm not an expert. Like I see people do beautiful reels or posts, and I'm in awe. And I try to do the best I can, but it's not where my natural skill is. So I jokingly tell people, but jokingly, but it's true, is that I'm really glad that there's so little natural talent I have in this, because so much of this success, it's easy to say this is God leading us through it, because
True.
we've just had, I think I look back on how we started it, and it really was like we didn't have a plan. And it's just kind of like we want to get Catholic things in people's homes so people can come closer to the faith or come into the faith. That's it. And so it's been really great to see it grow. And this year that people are reaching out to us, but the first year is kind of getting the visibility. When you start something, you kind of need to tell people like, hey, we're here. And people have been really gracious, because very trusting, that, when you're a new business, people are trusting that you're legitimate. And are willing to give, we've had people give, partner with us and invite us to things. And so that's been really good too. So yeah.
That, that I mean, but that's amazing. Anyway, I mean, every business has a challenge, and especially with, I think, even for myself, making the stuff and selling them is not the difficult part. The social media is truly time consuming, especially like you said with the family. Social media is the worst.
I
And
know.
here I am running a YouTube and a business. I'm like, I don't know. But
Yeah.
like you said, because you're not a pro at it, so when it really builds and it grows organically, you know that God's hand is in it, and God wills it that you grow,
Uh,
isn't it? So, and it's
yeah.
very encouraging as well for us, especially sometimes when it gets too, in business, sometimes you feel like you're just doing a business, and you lose touch, or you feel disillusioned about, am I doing this just only for business sake, or where's God in this, and then
Yeah.
suddenly God will do a few little things that will remind you, hey, don't worry, you're on the right path, you're doing the right thing,
Yeah.
it's okay, your mission is for the greater glory of God, so you're on the right
Yeah.
track, those things will come. Now, my next question is, um, what influence or impact has this business had on your children? On your children? Yeah.
Um, I think it's been good. I mean, it's been there, it hasn't always been ideal, because I think there's been times when, I mean, they're older now, so they don't have to come to everything with us, but the first year, we're dragging them to the events, and it's like all the Catholic season stock, the kids and a dog like in a van. It's just, and there was four of them, or well, three of them at the time. And so sometimes it was just like some eye rolls, like, oh no, they're getting bored and they don't like it. But I think it's been overall positive, because they've met a lot of people. The Catholic Mothers Conference was just phenomenal for them. They met
Mm.
other families, and it was kind of this like, oh, we aren't weirdos. We aren't the only Catholic weirdos in the UK. Like, there's other families that are like us. So I think it's been really positive, and the girls especially like helping out at the stand and interacting with people, and they'll have great, conversations with people. And they've just gotten like really confident, seeing their confidence grow. So I think too, like, I'd like to think, I haven't heard this from them, but I'd like to think that, from a business perspective, giving an example of, if you have an idea, just just try it, just see what happens, so kind of providing an example that can maybe encourage them if they have something they want to pursue. And then also just, as like I've learned more, they've learned more too. So our home like has a lot more Catholic stuff in it for sure. So they, because we also like supporting other Catholic businesses we've encountered, like yours and some of the illustrators, and or like Madeline doing the books and stuff. So I think it's been overall positive, but I do think that they sometimes don't like going to the events and being at a stall all day.
Oh, I met your kids and they're amazing. They're really amazing. That it's a testament to your, your parenting skills, that I
Oh,
would
thank
say. So
you.
don't undersell yourself. You're amazing, Peter and yourself. Um,
Oh, thank you.
Now, okay, so where do you see Catholic seasons in 5 years, in 5 years time? Yeah,
Hmm.
big question.
Well, yeah, our big dream, and if it happened in 5 years, that'd be fantastic. Our big dream is that we'd actually have a physical shop. So and of course, like we want to keep doing the events because I do think it is like really helpful for people to see things in online or in person because we also get to people that aren't necessarily online, um, or aren't as tech savvy. But I would love to have an actual shop. And what I see for that space is that it would be a shop kind of set up homey and cozy so you can kind of easily envision how these things would look in your home. That it would have like a little coffee cafe bar or something so people can just sit and gather and just be like a really nice welcoming space and have a space that maybe people can use to for like Bible studies, prayer groups, or meeting up. Um, I just I think it would be amazing to have something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we'll continue traveling through the UK with our shop because that does reach a lot of people. I would love to have more books, so really grow the book side of our business. So we have been in
Mm-hmm.
touch with some US publishers like Sophia Ignatius and
Ooh, the good
um,
stuff.
to in Word on Fire. So we have the information, but we need to build up like to be able to finance it. But so really grow the book side of our shop. Yeah, yeah, because I mean I love reading and I think there's so much in a so much like it's just huge treasure trove of knowledge that we have. So yeah, really feeling at the book side, and I think I would just love it like if people were looking for like, oh, I have like, my friend's birthday or and they're Catholic, oh, Catholic seasons, like just to become like more well known as like a go-to place for something that's special, a little bit unique. We want to also do more, like be in a position where we can do more for different charities and apostolates or parishes, be able to, set up campaigns where it's like, a certain amount of the proceeds will go to pro-life or, Catholic mothers and things like, so we
Yep.
want to be able to grow to a point like where we can do more of that. We do what we can. Um, but kind of like there's the business part and then there's the mission part. But if it
Yeah.
was became a business that could really do a lot for other charities and apostolates, that would be amazing. So,
Yeah.
so big
That's
dreams.
big dreams. I really love what your vision for Catholic seasons in the future for the next coming 5 years, especially like you said, to create a space where and a really cozy space. I think I don't know, but I'm guessing because you're in England now, so England is all about being cozy. So, a cozy
Yeah.
space for people to come and meet, have these discussions about the faith without worrying about, other people finding it offensive or anything. Just
Yeah.
among faithful people, like you said, Bible discussions is a space for Bible discussions, for young people to meet and even date, as Catholics,
Yeah. Yeah.
for young
That's such a good
Catholic,
idea. Yeah. Well, I think
and a bit,
like, yeah,
yeah,
because I think something that I think a lot is just kind of like we need to be more in the culture. It isn't being Catholic really isn't just a Sunday, and we hear that a lot, but it's so true. And just kind of like everything we do, our Catholic faith should be in that. It should be obvious. There's no reason it's only in church or only when you're praying. And like what you said, like a place for a date, like that would be so fun, that you can go there, Catholic date,
yeah,
like a little bookshop and coffee and stuff. But
yeah.
um, yeah, just like kind of really normalize living your Catholic life in every area of your life, really.
Yeah, and it's a fun place to meet for moms, As a mom, like I want to meet other
Oh,
Catholic moms, but like where we live in London, obviously Catholic mothers is still quite further away. But yeah,
yeah.
just knowing that you're entering this space, a casual space, which is not church,
Yeah.
and you know that it's the chances that the person you're going to speak to is also Catholic and understand your viewpoint is such a
Yeah.
comforting thought to have,
Yeah.
you know. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. So, I'm excited. I'll be here to watch you grow.
Yeah. No, and I feel like, I mean, I really think like if it's meant to happen, it will. And it'll
Oh yeah,
happen at the right
God
time
willing.
and
Yeah.
it'll just be yeah, it'll be great. I just love that.
But it's amazing that you're thinking big because I mean among the circles that we move in, all the creators and all the Catholic businesses that I mean we've met, you've met, we've spoken, even I've spoken to. There's this general consensus that we all want to build something that is a bit
Yeah.
more solid, so that we are, like you say, that we are more in more in the culture, and also
Right.
there's an active community outside of the
Mm,
church, so that there's so many young Catholic families, and that all of us have a space to move around in the secular side of things. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and oh yeah. So I think you mentioned this already, but can you tell my viewers the events that you're gonna be at in this year for 2025, all the events that you'll be at?
Yeah, so it's all like, needs to be finalized and everything, but the plan is a Catholic Mothers Conference, which I think is in April in London
Mm-hmm.
at the Cabrini Center.
That's fun.
So yeah, it's amazing. So definitely that. Recently, there's the We Believe Catholic Festival coming up end of July in Oscott, so we'll want to go to that. And there's also the Glastonbury pilgrimage that happens like at the Glastonbury Abbey grounds, and then there's a rosary procession that happens to Glastonbury. Will be there, and that's incredible because I mean it's so pagan, it's so pagan and New Age in Glastonbury, and then you have the rosary procession that just goes right down the high street. I mean, there's shops that are advertising come here for your spells and witchcraft, and we're saying the rosary by them. It's amazing.
Oh, to be
So,
honest, I've not heard of the Glastonbury pilgrimage. That's quite interesting.
oh, okay, yeah. Well,
When
I
is
can
it
give you
happening?
information. Yeah, so it's gonna be it usually happens in the beginning of the summer, but this year they've moved it to September. I'll have to let you know the exact date because I'm not sure. I just
Or
know it's
maybe
been
some
moved
of
to
my viewers
September.
don't know about it as well, because I've not heard of it. But it sounds amazing, and it's proper
Yeah,
spiritual warfare,
yes,
as
because
you
they
said.
do exactly, and they do mass in the Abbey ruins. So it's like this is an abbey that was completely demolished by Henry VIII, and it's so you still have all the ruins and everything, but then they do mass in there. So it's very special, very moving, and then the rosary procession after, and it's beautiful. The Abbey grounds are amazing. So yeah, we'll be there, and it'd be great if more people came.
It sounds really good. Like for some
Mm,
reason, it reminds me of Walsingham.
yes.
With Walsingham, because
Yeah.
the mass is set in the ruins as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, so God, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, I can go to that
Oh
one.
yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna end this conversation with some rapid fire questions. So like
Okay.
10 questions.
Okay.
Okay. Now, some might be a bit controversial, but I know you won't back down.
No.
USA,
Yeah.
USA. Okay, let's go. Okay, first question. Do not think too much. Just go straight for it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What is since okay this is big specifically for you because of your business name Catholic Seasons. What is your favorite liturgical season of the year?
Christmas.
Oh,
Definitely
Advent.
Christmas. I like
Okay.
Advent Christmas, 100%.
Okay, and your patron saint?
Is Saint Clare of Assisi. It's my confirmation saint.
Favorite miracle of Jesus?
I think where he heals the woman, the hemorrhaging woman that just touches the thread, because I think that just shows like the love and the power of Jesus, and just like if we could just get that just a little bit close to him, just reach out just a little bit, he does everything else.
Hmm. This this is this is why we are friends. That is my favorite miracle as well.
Really? Oh, I
Yes,
got
it is.
chills. Oh,
Good. Yeah.
wow.
As soon as you said that, I thought I was gonna cry. But I'm like, oh. Okay. Um. what who's your favorite apostle?
Oh, oh my goodness. I think, oh, that's hard.
But I
I
know
want,
who
I
we
think
all do not like for sure. There's only one
yeah,
person we all don't
yes,
like,
at
but
least
but who do you
I
like?
want
Yeah.
to be, I would love to be more like John, just like that total just love and gentleness. But I think I definitely relate more to Peter because it's just kind of like everything is just like 100%, like I'm feeling this and I'm 100% that. Now I'm this, and now, So I love Peter's passion and yeah, but I wish I want to be more like John with just that tenderness and love too.
But because you say Peter, but I like John
Yeah, you're
just for the
back.
fact, yeah, I like John just because he puts it in his gospel. He said, but what the disciple that Jesus loved the most reached the tomb first. Remember that one? So just for that cheekiness, I
Mm,
like the Apostle John.
yeah,
The
yeah,
little
I want to be
cheekiness.
more like John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So um I I know you said your favorite I know you said your favorite patrons sorry, your patron saint is Saint Clare of Assisi. But who's your other than Saint Clare of Assisi, name me another female saint that you like.
Oh goodness. I mean probably the devotion that I love most about the Catholic faith is the communion of saints. Like I love learning about the lives of saints. And I'd say right now I'm in my Saint Therese little flower era. Um I had kind of I read for the first time her book and I had it for a while because, I just thought of her as like everything I hear about her. She just seems so perfect and so sweet and so good and so kind of for me a little bit unrelatable. But I just read her book, Story of a Soul, and it was just incredible. Like really incredible. Like I feel like I was reading a letter from a really dear friend. And so really inspired by her little way. It's not overrated by any means. In fact, it's probably
No, no.
underappreciated. So right now,
Yeah.
Saint Therese, Little Flower. Yeah.
Okay. Who's your favorite Catholic YouTuber or channel? Don't say me.
I've been really enjoying Pints with Aquinas. Um, I love listening because I like that it's a long form. And so I usually listen to him while I'm doing all of my house cleaning or cooking. And I love the discussions, the conversations. And I also recently discovered, so it's a little bit shorter, it's like 15-20 minutes, but Catholic Calm Mom. So it's a lot of just kind of really practical tips for just like, maintaining inner peace and order and growth and development as a mother, as a wife, as a woman. So I've really enjoyed hers as well. But I listen to a lot of Pints with Aquinas.
Yeah, I think Pines with Aquinas is top right on top of everyone's list. I think for Catholic YouTube. Oh, this
Yeah.
is the next one is an interesting one. Traditional Latin Mass or Novus Ordo?
Traditional Latin Mass. My mom made a really funny slip up. She accidentally called Novus Ordo nervous order. So, but I love traditional Latin mass. Like I don't understand all the Latin, but that's where I just see like the richness, the beauty. I always feel a lot more focused, a lot more contemplative prayer in Latin mass. And yeah, but I grew up with a lot of Novus Ordos, so that also has its familiarity. I don't want to be too controversial, but I definitely prefer Latin mass.
Me too, me too. Now, three more questions left.
All
Communion in the hand or on the tongue?
on the tongue. And that's something where I I've used to receive it on the hand. But then again, just like the more I learn, the more I want that relationship with Jesus that just feels like it's very vulnerable, it's very intimate. and there's no doubt that everything, all the body of Christ is consumed. There's no worry about like you check my hand or anything. So it just, I feel like it gives the reverence that's due for receiving Christ.
That's amazing. Now, your favorite rosary mystery between the joyful, sorrowful, luminous, and glorious.
Um,
The one that makes you cry, or okay, not and then
yeah,
you're going to say sorrowful, but like which one is your most favorite
yeah,
that you feel like it's easy for you to delve into?
yeah. I would say the specific one would be agony in the garden. That's the one that comes to mind the soonest because there's so many times that I find myself like, God, I don't want to do this, or God, I feel very lonely, or life is hard, and that's just I can always relate to that and just thinking of like Jesus being in that moment too and he's alone and just thinking like if I can be there and be with Jesus in the garden, not fall asleep. Hopefully. I usually fall asleep during the rosary, but I love the mystery agony in the garden. I think it's definitely my favorite.
I see why we're friends. That's my favorite one too. Um, okay, and the final question of our rapid Catholic questions. Your favorite either Marian apparition or Marian title, like for example, Our Lady of Fatima, or you like Our Lady of Perpetual Help, or which is your favorite?
Oh my goodness.
Tough
Ooh,
questions.
well, I know. I think Our Lady of Guadalupe. I mean, because America is patron of the Americas, but she's,
Obviously.
pro-life. Yeah. Just pro-life, pregnant. And then just the miracle itself is just remarkable. Like all the studies that have been done on the tilma. And I think it's a beautiful, I'm half Mexican. So there's also that, like, it feels like a familiar, like a nostalgic, very familiar image for me. And just, yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
I'm not surprised because all Americans love Guadalupe, Our Lady of Guadalupe somehow. I mean, I think
Yeah.
she, I mean, I don't think America has there's an apparition of Our Lady in America, isn't it? Other than Our Lady of Guadalupe. So I think I can
Yeah.
imagine your affinity towards Our Lady of Guadalupe. Myself,
Yeah.
I've always grown up doing the Our Lady of Perpetual Helps novena, so that's why I have her
Yeah.
everywhere. I think you see behind me, even in pictures and things like that. So yeah,
Yeah. I would say close. I mean, it might even be on par with like Our Lady of Sorrows because there's something about like realizing like with Mary, like being like no original sin, that she saw and felt everything purely and intensely. And so that would go for her joys, but also her sorrows, and thinking like she felt perfect sorrow for the things that she went through and knew she would go through, and she still said yes, and she still, I mean, that's just amazing. And especially as a mom, like just thinking of like the sorrows that she went through with Jesus is just, I can't, it moves me.
yeah, I know maybe Protestants feel like, oh, how come we have these different titles for Mary and that? But it's just her way of connecting with her children, be it in China, in
Yes.
Japan, or in Portugal, or in America. Because you always want your mom to be, your mom is very familiar to you, she's your first thing. And I think Our Lady is very good at, making her children feel comfortable, wanted,
Yeah.
and inclusive as well.
Well,
So
just
Tina,
even like as a
yeah,
mom, you have different relationships with your different children. So
yeah.
yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yep. So Athena, thank you for joining me today on Standing by the Cross. And I know we actually had a lot of glitches and hiccups and then my baby crying and my mother-in-law calling on the phone. That's for the viewers. Now you know what happened, why I have to do a few cuts. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
And I look
you.
forward
It's
to
been
meeting
wonderful.
you in maybe Catholic Mothers Conference. I'll probably be there. I'll
Yeah,
see you there.
that would be great.
Yeah, so for my viewers, if you guys wanna, if you all are local I mean, obviously if you're in England, and if you're a woman, yep, or and your mother, just you know research about Catholic Mothers Conference, and it'd be amazing to meet you all there.
Yeah.
So thank you, Tina. Thank you for sharing about
Thank
your
you.
beautiful little business and your beautiful little family. Keep them in my prayers, and
Thank
all the best. And
you.
see you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye. God
bye.
bless.
So.